Hello, Smite fans, and welcome to the finals. It's game number 1 in a best-of-3 set. It's going to be Complexity going up against Denial, formerly known as 5 Mega Men, Complexity, formerly known as Complexity.
Yeah.
And then Snipe before that.
Yeah, that's Snipe a long time ago. They were known as Snipe.
Moons.
Many moons. Complexity, this is a matchup that happened last weekend, a rematch, if you will, that also happened in the finals. Complexity won in like 20 minutes, and then they made Denial Esports surrender in 10 minutes.
Yes.
So I'm not really sure what to expect here, besides the fact that history would tell us that Complexity should win out, but
yes.
Denial Esports has looked good today.
Yes.
You know, Bart, I'm glad you agree.
Yes. So, yeah, Complexity has been the stand-alone victor of this matchup so far during the qualifiers, albeit with a sample size of 1 week. Although it was a best-of-3. Complexity bans out Circuit, Denial bans out Bastet. So a couple of phenome-ending junglers, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
What I was looking for. Bastet, Circuit. Did I do it? All of my linguistics majors out there, did I do it right?
I don't know.
Arachne band as well as Thor. So 4 jungle bands. We can tell where these teams think that they're stronger players lie. Weekend on the side of Complexity, and, of course, Shing for Denial Esports.
Yep, so first pick here is going to be Athena. Now, Athena, we could see it run by Incon, which is always a possibility. We could see it in the jungle. We could see it in the mid lane with Complexity. They seem to prioritize Athena anywhere as long as they have her. So that's why Denial Esports kind of being scrim partners with Complexity. You almost expect to see the Athena get banned out.
Well, but she isn't, and she is first picked, and that leaves Sylvanas +1 available for Denial Esports, and they value that Poseidon in that position for Madman. No, not Madman, Mark. That's not his name. It's Mace to the Face. Similar, many syllables.
Madman could play it, though.
But it could be Madman ADC for that Poseidon. Unlikely, but possible.
Yeah, Poseidon just doesn't fit in the duo lane anymore. This is going to be an Odin pickup here from Complexity. Now, Odin was picked up last week as well by Complexity, and that was Weekend. Weekend really likes the synergy it brings to his team. He feels like the kills are more secured when it happens in the mid lane, especially with Kiki, who's known as their weakest player.
Odin. Well, we saw it work before.
Yeah, it worked before.
He always just seems like such a risky pick, and it always, I mean, to me, just because these two are are the scrim partners or the dojo partners, that's probably why you see it being picked up so early here.
Shameless plug for the dojo.
I mean, that's why it's being picked up so early, right? Is that they know that Denial knows that they know that Denial knows that they know that they want to pick Odin. So head games coming on. They pick Odin and Athena in the first 2 positions. Cupid as their 3rd pickup here. So pretty strong AoE team comp selected for Complexity already. Final ban's coming through. It's a new removed by Denial Esports. A long time since we've seen her face grace the pick ban screen for Complexity. Final ban, TBD, it's Nemesis.
Now, the reason they banned out Nuwa is because Kiki is consistent with Nuwa. They want Kiki to be out of his comfort zone. They want him on a male character who's like tanky or just someone who has to make the plays, like an Agni, which I don't think we'll ever see an Agni come out of Complexity unless Kiki really starts grinding out that god.
Bakasura selected as the likely solo lane candidate for Denial. Zhonghui. Oh, wow. That's about as far from pretty female girl you can get. Kiki.
Yeah, no. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's going to be Kiki's god? Yeah, it's going to be Zhong Kui.
Wait. Whoa. No. This might be an Athena mid. Hunbatch jungle.
That's true. Athena is a bae.
Athena is bae, right? So Athena mid, Hunbatch jungle, but Weekend hates Hunbatch jungle. He absolutely loathes it. But looking at this matchup, like Hunbatch.
Either that or he's playing Odin in the jungle. Or Athena. Who knows? We don't know. We're not smart. But it still is the final pick here coming out of Denial.
Well, there's no way Hunbats can lane, right?
It's going to be Cyclone Spin on the Hunbots. This is my final guess, Scott. Solo lane Hunbots, Odin in the jungle.
Okay.
And I'm right.
How does a... Let me ask you this, Bart. You've been around Smite for long enough. How does a laning phase Hunbats work?
Really, really well against Bakasura.
Okay.
That's why he's selected here. So it's melee assassin versus melee assassin. Hunbots is a little bit more mobile than the Bakasura. The Bakasura has more movement speed. Hunbots has the ability to teleport and leap. Hunbots with a passive crit as well as big scaling, physical damaging abilities is able to deal with the Bakasura fairly well, and it's actually one of the better matchups versus the Baka for Shing. So it was made popular about halfway through the Pro League last season. and really shined with the changes to Shifter Shield, I believe.
Yeah, look at this mirrored rotation here. Well, you can see Denial going with the more ballsy approach of running straight through Gold Fury, whereas Complexity kind of took a little bit of the outskirts here.
Oh, no, it wasn't Shifters. It was the Heavy Hammer.
Okay.
That was the issue. So once Heavy Hammer came out, people started really experimenting a lot with Bakasura and Hunbot solo. Bakasura stuck around, not so much Hunbot. We have the fight coming out. Heart Bomb is on, and not going to be enough, though, on Best, but they do group up, and they get a little bit extra bonus damage out of that one. And Best already at about 100 health so far in this early laning phase.
So 3 wards have gone down here for Complexity. You have one right by the Gold Fury, a little bit more on their side. You have the one for the mid lane, which is basically saying, okay, Kiki, here's 50 gold. Just make sure you don't die early. And then they have the one in the back, which is going to tell them everything they need to know. But as we take a look at the right side here, we are going to be seeing a little bit of an invade. Shing could be in trouble.
Well, I mean, they do decent damage again. Best already has eaten some harass, and Complexity, well, they seem to be on a different level here.
Wait, whoa.
Double hog.
Shing is playing Baka in the jungle. And Cyclone is going to be going against Dacilla. We didn't even... How dare they confuse us?
Yeah, I guess what would have been the jungler if it would have been Bakasura was indeed your solo laner, but... yeah, Best is going to be your Skilla here. Shing in a lot of trouble here. If he doesn't have his leap, no, he's level 1, he's dead. Yep. You have it, come on!
Weekend isn't able to do it. The Best looking for the damage here on Weekend with the crush, but isn't able to do it. You can just kind of see how aggressive Complexity's turned into. Cyclone's been looking for it. He wants Shing dead.
It's funny, man. Junkwei is one of my favorite gods in the game. Not because I like to play him, not because I'm particularly a big fan of his kit or abilities or look, even though I think they're fine.
Because this skin's awesome.
And I love the skin. No, it's mostly because he's basically only played by players that are at the top of their game. Right? It's really interesting. It's like, you basically never see this god unless it's one of the top 4 teams in the world playing it. Right? It's like, and Complexity trying to maybe show that they are that. Definitely Junkwei, not the barometer for that, but kind of more of, seems to always be that. MLC Stealth will play it. Now we see Kiki
Well, you remember
it.
when he brought it out in SWC and it was like,
Top
teams. My God.
Top teams usually play Junkwei's and get away with it. And if you get Junkwei out of the laning phase, which he's, by the way, really good at, he's a nightmare in team fights.
Yeah, he's very, very hard to deal with. There's a bunch of variety you can do. Lotus Crown really works on Junkwei as well. You can see a variety of builds come out of him. One of the more common ones is going to be a Warlock Sash into Ethereal Staff, which is just going to give you a bunch of tankiness. He's a very versatile guy.
Well, let's start with the mid lane here, right? As we're talking about Junkwei, he has a really exceptionally easy phase here versus the Poseidon with already pushing him out of lane. And we'll back to the soul lane as well. Hunbots has a really good chance against Scylla as they force her to get Sentinel at level 1. So they're winning both of kind of their primary mage-based lanes.
Yeah. I almost wonder if Poseidon going into the solo lane was a better choice than the Scylla. Scylla, you know, her clear is weak early on. That's why we were seeing her get started off with the red pot. But Weekend looks to engage here. He's not level 5, so he doesn't have the ring, so he can't lock him in. But the ring, Odin's ring missed with Junkwei ult, that's going to suck.
Yeah, not to mention your Cupid and your Athena and your Hunbots, right? And really the play here is that anybody that doesn't have a leap, so you're looking at you, Shadow Q, and Mace to the face. Ring, Athena ultimate, you're dead.
Yeah, but it's smart by them to pick Uller as well, and you know, Bakasura. Bakasura's going to have no problem at all. So they are going to be level 5s here for the Harpies. Complexity seems to have both of them locked down, as you're just going to watch Allied just look down 2 gods like it's nothing. Allied has kind of been this hunter so far in the qualifiers where we never talk about him at all, and then all of a sudden the game ends and it's like, oh my god, he was 11-0.
yeah, last week that definitely seemed to be the case. Here, really the interesting thing to see is how effectively Cupid Athena is zoning against the Sylvanas Cooler. The push should really be heavily in favor of the dual lane for Denial, but Complexity really doing a great job of keeping this one at parity.
Yep. Well, Allied has to be careful here as Madman Mark was looking for the stun, which would have been followed up with a pull, which would have been followed up with the Wrath of Terra. He would have been CC'd for quite some time, so good on Allied to kind of rotate out of there and play it safe as Incon goes ahead and rotates into him.
Shing comes back to the solo lane here to leech a bit of experience away from Best as he continues on his travels through the jungle.
See, this is what Shing has done, and I think Complexity has taken note of it just because they've played him so much, but Shing is never looking at duo lane, ever. He's all about solo and mid.
Oh, the damage coming through. It's a Hunbot's ultimate into the Athena ultimate as well. But Xing with the timing, he drops his own ultimate to avoid the CC out of the Hun bots. Excellent individual play there by Xing. Granted, it was defensive. It does prevent his death, but that does leave the invade open once again to Complexity, who's all over it, and that's going to be a very, very fast speed buff once again going their way. And Complexity they're just gobbling up Denial, to be perfectly honest with you here. I mean, they seem to have really every answer for everything that Denial's trying to do, and they're really exerting their will upon the team in red.
Well, Hunbat's going to be able to clear this one out as Weekend's going to continue to aggress on the mid lane. Now, it's important to note that Weekend is always going to be favoring Kiki in these matchups, so you almost wonder why Xing hasn't been camping Kiki, and that really just comes down to Bakasura. He's not going to have a hard time killing Zhang Kui, but Zhang Kui is very, very tanky with all the protections.
Zhang Kui's got one of the better kind of kits and base scalings to deal with something like a Bakasura. Especially if he elects to pick up a sprint or even the beads. He can just kind of waddle away. And his ultimate, of course, doubles his protections as well to help deal with the Bakasura. Everything with a true damage.
So taking a look at the builds here, everyone getting ready to go into boots. You can see the Shoes of Focus coming out for Scylla, which is interesting. You almost would rather have the power on her just because she has so much free power, but more Sentinels, you're safer. I get it. I get the idea behind it.
Second starter now for Weekend. The Mark of the Vanguard. After the Bumbus Mask, so a little bit more resilient in the early game here as he comes crashing in. I guess it just means that he wants to pressure these lanes really heavily, and he doesn't want to deal with archer damage.
Yeah, pretty much. He wants to jump in. Well, that's exactly what you see Odins do, right? Odin, they pop their shield, they hit their jump, they jump in, they go on the back archers, then they try to lock you in, and they press 3, do a little AoE damage. Here comes a Kraken. That's a big Kraken. Kiki could be in trouble. Kiki gets erased.
Kiki fired his ultimate there like the last second that he was alive after the CC went through, so that's not going to be available for them either.
Yeah.
A little bit of a misplay from Mr. Orna.
Now, this is going to be interesting to see how Complexity handles this. Weekend has been trying to get Kiki involved in this game. They haven't been able to commit at all. I wonder if he's going to be flustered.
Oh, man, that was your first blood as well. Totally missed that one. 6 minutes, 30 seconds in. About 6 minutes, we get our first blood, and Complexity still holding the lead by a little bit, even despite that.
So Weekend now sits in the mid. Allied has rotated over as well. They're really, we're looking to secure these mid-harps, which have already been gone. Allied kind of questionable as to why he rotated all the way for no reason.
He just wanted to say what's up.
He's like, yo, guys, I don't know if you know this, but I can drop clams.
But he does leave Madman Mark the lane. Those are, they're wontons.
They're what?
They're wontons.
Oh, stop it.
They're not clams.
They look like clams.
No, dude, they're pot stickers.
Stop it.
They're friggin' Chinese dumplings.
I get it. I see it, but I would rather it be a clam.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Seafood Cupid.
Oh,
Allied knocked up, and I think he still has his dash.
Oh,
No, he's
that's
going to get
big.
stun CC'd. But here comes Incontinentia to lend a hand to his little baby buddy as he eats the clams.
I wonder if they're going to go for the counter gank here. You can see that they are there. Weekend's got him trapped in. Weekend hit him with the 3. And now they're just looking to do everything possible, but they don't have it as they've invested everything on Sylvanas. They finally take him out, but that's all it looks like they're going to get.
Weekend with the equalizer there. 1-1 now. Complexity draws even. But still about 600 gold to their credit. So a little bit of an advantage. Not too much.
So now taking a look here, Hunbat's still just doing his thing. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how he transitions out of the laning phase, but that's going to be Zhang Kui. He pops his ultimate, down he goes again. Kiki dying yet again. They're camping him in the mid lane. That's how you beat Complexity.
That's how you beat Kiki as well, right? I mean, he's just not that comfortable as a mid laner still, even with probably a couple hundred games under his belt now with Complexity in the between scrims and ranked and whatnot.
It's going to be hard.
It takes 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000 be a master or something.
That's right.
That's the rule. And what's scary is you know, Complexity looks to pretty much make it into the SPL. How bad is a team like Cloud9 going to exploit the fact that Kiki isn't comfortable? Like, Stealth isn't going to have a hard time. Right. And, like, and Stir and Gars are going to have, like, field day skanking. They're going to love it. He's got to get comfortable, and he has to get comfortable very, very fast.
Scott, the games today have all been pretty ponderously paced, if you will, in terms of kills. Three kills now, almost 9 minutes into this one. What was it? We had a game that had, what, 12 kills in about 30 minutes? This one seems to be cut of the same cloth. It's really just Kiki who's taken spills recently. We got a return kill into Sylvanas in the left side lane a bit earlier as well, but everyone seems perfectly content with farming so far. Maybe a little bit of a symptom of the support roaming a bit less, but Doomworm is the pickup for Poseidon in the mid lane.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask you what you thought about this, and so since it's been thrown to me, I think it's a very, very ballsy call for Poseidon in the mid, who's already a hot target to be ganked anyways. So to have a Doomworm, which the stacks are going to get taken away if you die, is very, very gutsy. But if you're feeling the rhythm, it gives you early game power. I would have rather seen Boots get finished, though.
He feels the rhythm of the night. Well, it's like, what, like 9 stacks or something, and Doomworm becomes cost efficient in terms of the other damage items you can get, cost per damage. So obviously it gives you a lot of power right now. It's that, you know, it's your money, you want it now, and you pick the Doomworm.
Yep. And both Harpies are going to go in favor here of Complexity as well, just really trying to do it. This game's very, very evenly matched. 330 experience, just nothing that matters, nothing that's relevant in the graphs. But all the graphs are telling us is that it's
game's close. Hunbots with a Transcendence is going to be his build order now. Out of that solo lane, he's going to avoid yet again the pressure from Xing and Cyclone Spin. Well, he's just he's making this look fairly simple, and it's not really that simple to play a melee caster basically with very, very long cast points up against a Scylla, but doing a nice job of it.
Yeah, and Scylla is going to have her work cut out for her, but Sylvanas is looking for one. He's got the pull here on Weekend. Weekend's going to jump out because he's Odin, and they're just going to disengage this and rotate out. It's going to be interesting to see what Kiki does, if Kiki's going to go here. It looks like they're trying to aggress and set up for a Gold Fury, and actually he's just going to go back and just steal these mid-harps, yeah? Yeah,
he's going back and waddling for some back camps. Red buff maybe where the fight goes down. We'll see if Complexity sniff this one out. No, it's already taken, and they are instead going to turn their attention to the Gold Fury, where Denials kind of put themselves in a position where they have to go through the choke. Weekend with his back to them, though. There's the ring, and yeah, you don't want to jump into that.
No, you don't. So they're just going to take that Gold Fury. I mean,
yeah,
I guess
bullied.
Yeah. That's the strength that we have of Odin, though, right? Like, Odin is throw this ring down right around the Gold Fury. If anyone wants it, they can jump into it. If not, we've secured it.
Oh, Kraken going to come out. Allied's going to eat the damage, but there's an ultimate coming out from Incon. Allied drops the drops the Fields of Love and tries to dash away. Not enough. Weekend leaps away from the knock from Shadow Q. They may get Incon as a consolation prize. No, he leaps as well. Cyclone Spin is rotated in, but they catch him in the Whirlpool. No leaps, no counter initiation for the Hun bots. However, it does free up Kiki to get some much-needed farm over here in the right side solo lane. He's going to build some stacks up and aggress the tower a little bit as well while he's at it. Look at that XP chart. Back and forth this game has been. But with the Gold Fury going the way of Complexity, it gives them the big gold lead at 1,697.
And Complexity doesn't seem to be letting off the gas pedal anytime soon. This is kind of what they do. The big thing with Complexity, though, which we touched on a little bit earlier, is that they really just wait for the other team to make a mistake and then they punish them for it, but you never see them actually just trying to take every advantage they can. They're fine with being passive.
Yes. And, well, they're passive. They did go take the Gold Fury, you know, around 10 minutes, which is a fairly aggro play. Oh, look at what a pal.
Yeah.
Cyclone Spin.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Waiting for Cyclones for Kiki, who now is recalling right in front of another buff that he could have gotten credit for. So I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Transcendence on Hunbats?
If you can, I mean, it's like, can you get away with it? If you get away with it, great.
Yeah.
You know, but Kiki has finished off his Warlock Sash, as we're so kindly pointed out by the spectator. Right side mid camp's coming back up. Left side to spawn as well. Looks like right side will go to Denial. Complexity more or less coalesced on the left side here, where they will take this one easily as well as the Harpies drop in from the Sky God.
Yeah, this is a perfect, Warlock Sash is a perfect item for Jean-Queen. Gives him tankiness, gives him power as well, and it gives him health. So when you look at it down the road, he has a bunch of options from here. He's most likely not going to go double stacking because that's just not what Jean-Queen does. We'll probably see, I hope to see an E-Staff at some point. I think the E-Staff with the Warlocks is like some of the best synergy possible. You get a bunch of health, you still get consistent damage. And we might see a Lotus Crown though as well, which definitely works on him.
Lotus Crown could be the do here. That would be interesting to see if he picks it up. So back to the Transcendence on Hunbots. I love it. I love Transcendence on every single god in the game if you can get through the laning phase with it, and that's generally the problem. Xing in a bit of trouble here. He is going to get taunted. The Bird Bomb as well. He's going to beads and leap, and I don't think they pursue this one. Weekend with a nice sidestep there to avoid the Sikkim. But yeah, I mean, I think Transcendence is great on basically every single physical damage core you can get it on. It's just a question of getting through the laning phase with it. Here comes I'm a Monster. It's going to whiff. Best in a bit of trouble. The ghosts are there from Zhonghui. The bird bomb as well, and it's good. Weekend jams it in. 2-3 now for Complexity. Cyclone Spin is here. A lot of damage on the Shadow Q. There's the Wrath of Terror to knock everyone up, but it doesn't matter. He's still taunted, and down he goes as well. Kiki or not, a credit for that one. 3-3, 14 minutes in.
Now Cyclone Spin's just going to eat this wave. They're going to shove mid as well. Allied's going to be able to pressure that. And now this is going to be a tier 1 for sure, as well as most likely a tier 2 if they want. Gold Fury isn't up, so the most logical thing to do is to take their tower.
Minute and a half for the Gold Fury here, so they really don't have a great option. They're going to try to contest the tier 2. I don't know if they have enough damage, though. That's kind of the question. Allied's here, and he's unchecked. It looks like they will. I don't think Mesa Face can get in a position for another Whirlpool to hold them out. So, yes, 2 towers picked up in the mid lane for Complexity, and that skyrockets their gold advantage here. They're going to be up now 5,400 XP and 5,000 gold, and put themselves in a great spot to win this one. In the next 10 minutes, it's kind of like if they want to, they can try to finish off this next set of items, be an item ahead of everybody, and move in, and really try to pressure the map and force out some bad plays, take the rest of the towers and look for the Phoenixes. Or they can sit back a little bit and continue on their playstyle. But with the Odin, it's an early game squad, and they need it to be that way. And it is going to be kind of that rushdown style. As the Fire Giants been started by the Nile, they realize that Complexity has a pretty big advantage over them right now, and they need to make a play.
Yep, well, Incon's going to go ahead and break that party up, as he's just going to use Defender of Olympus. He's going to come in on Kiki and deter that completely. Now, still, right now, Allied is sitting on 2K gold in hand. He needs to get back and spend it, but his teammates are making the different calls, and it looks like they're going to be hopping on Fire Giant.
Fire Giant, is it started up? It is, but it looks like it's going to be bailed away from. Shing is here with the ultimate active, but it's not enough to pick up a kill on the Cyclone Spin. He's got a lot of levels from that soul lane. Mesa Face is trapped in. Weekend just going from every time he can. There's a Cupid ultimate as well. Kraken going to be used, but it's just a little consolation prize for Mesa Face. He doesn't get much out of it. Now Shadow Q, there's attention, and he's piled in on. If they get Shadow Q, they will! And this is going to mean the Fire Giant for them as well! Over the top comes I'm a Monster, but doesn't find anything! Shing is dead! Mesa Face dead! Shadow Q dead!
And that's just another kill there for, that's going to be a triple kill for Cyclone Spin. The aggro assassin, he can play anything in the solo lane. It's pretty safe to say. Space Monkey is the best one, too. He
did it. And now the Fire Giant is free. Well, Incon taking quite a bit of damage for his trouble there. He's going to dash back in when he gets under the threshold. He's at 56%. Lava puddles are down. There's the flame carpet. And 38, 36, 34, and execute right now.
Here.
There it is. Complexity able to take that one down.
16-minute Fire Giant.
That's early.
So it started off, and this was a very, very slow-paced game. There was like 6 kills up until 10 minutes tops, and then all of a sudden it was a 16-minute Fire Giant.
Madman Mark going to look for the Gold Fury here, solo style. Obviously has plenty of life to do it. As Uller. More question of will he get spotted out on his way. Doesn't look like it. Gold Fury now at 55%. No, turning the corner. Yes, Kiki sees it now. Gold Fury starting to fall. 36, 33, almost there, but there's an Athena coming in. Denial hogs it, but they're going to lose a lot for this. They'll lose their Sylvanas, definitely.
They might lose their life.
No, Shadow Q? Is he going to? No, he's not.
No. Come on.
He's not playing Aphrodite. Can't juke, and looks like Weekend bird bombed on top of some minions in the mid lane as well. But Fire Giant buff still active and will remain so for about 3 more minutes for Complexity. And they're going to turn their attention to the left side lane. There's still 2 towers remaining.
Yeah, they're just going to shred through this. And the reason why they want to shove down this left lane is because this Phoenix, if they get it, is the furthest spot away from the Fire Giant. So you always have eyes there. Keeping the pressure away from the Fire Giant is the move to do.
Hunbots is really obnoxiously fed this game. I mean, he's huge. Level 18 and just all the items that he could possibly want, plus a Fire Giant buff. He's killing anybody he wants right now.
Hunbots is just strong as well, just because you have an Athena on your team. So normally the beads are going to be forced out at this point by the taunt. So when he comes in for Fear No Evil, it's going to be guaranteed.
Yeah, one of those spells is guaranteed to have a lot of value if they both hit. Sylvanas blinking forward. That's a big ultimate, hitting a bunch of keys here with the cage to break up the fight a bit. Combat Blink force out as well there as Athena continues to the front line. Cupid ultimate over the top. Best finally finds a decent ultimate on the Scylla. It does get a kill, but it's on Incon, who's already quite low. Now it's Kiki in the front line with his ultimate doing a lot of damage. Weekend is down, but Cyclone Spin with a big crit takes out Shing. It's a 2-for-2 trade. Both of the tanky frontliners dead for Complexity. Shing and Madman Mark, the primary physical damage dealers, down for Denial Esports. And there's still some pretty beefy targets remaining here for Complexity. This is a tough fight for Denial to take.
Yeah, well, they do have Allied. They just need to get Allied in there poking the tower, but he can't put himself in a bad spot. He's going to get hurt. He's going to be forced to beads that as well. Not what he was looking to do. but it's something that he had to do. So now it looks like they'll give up on this Phoenix siege, take what they can from the jungle, and head back to the base. I mean, Allied sitting on 1,200 gold. You got Cyclone Spin sitting on 1,500.
Oh! The snag from Shadowcube, but it gets turned around. Cyclone Spin drops the ultimate and destroys Mace in the face. Athena coming in as well. Best in a lot of trouble, leaping forward with a big slow. Overhand smash is there. It's a good kill, but there is a return from Madman Mark, who finds a kill onto the Hunbots, maybe breaking off a little bit more than they could chew. Was Complexity, but Cyclone Spin turns a bad situation into good, finding 2 more kills.
And this is looking tough. Obviously, we're not going to see anything change here, but Cyclone Spin, they have to wait on him. He's their hard carry. He's just their carry in general. He does it all. Looking at the kills here, I mean, my man is 6-1-3. He has a Transcendence done and a Jotuns.
7,000 gold, 12,500 experience. Complexity knocking on the door, Denial Esports. This is game 1 of a best-of-3 finals here. Complexity looking to take that advantage. The Phoenix starting to get a little bit low as Allied gets the shots. The ultimate comes through from Shadowcube. They chain CC Allied, but here comes the ring. In a lot of trouble is Shing. He's getting focused down. They want to take out this Bakasura, and down he does fall. Already dead is Madman Mark. Once again, the physical damage cores are gone. Phoenix to fall here. Best does get a kill onto Weekend with the Sikkim, but Weekend already starting to fall off. Cyclone's been the real prize earlier in the fight, but still, the core, can they take down this Phoenix here? It's seeming so difficult for them, but Allied finally with enough damage. Down does go the Phoenix.
Kraken.
Beautiful Aegis by Kiki. He's going to waddle out of this one. A-okay. Best is going to have to do a Sikkim, which will get dodged by Allied, and it looks like Complexity gets away with a left side Phoenix.
Yeah, that's really, really big. And now when you look at it here, we have Gold Fury in a minute 40. We have Fire Giant, most importantly, in 60 seconds, Bart. This is where everyone's going to be. Allied is sitting on 2,000 gold in hand, and so is Zhonghui. Basically, they need to go back. They're going to buy. They're going to heal up, and then this Fire Giant is going to be theirs. There are a lot of money ahead on Denial. Denial, they need a miracle. They need a Guan Yu steal here.
All damage all the time from Hunbots. A Titan's Bane to go along with the Jotun's Wrath means his abilities is really what he's focusing on here. He'll go for crit likely as his next item to start supplementing his passive, which does give him a 50% chance of crit after using any ability if you are following along at home. Other notable items, picked up. Ickfile finished for Cupid outright.
No shocker.
Working towards the what appears to be a Pestilence on the Athena. Silver Tile has been completed, and the Height of the Urchin is up and running on Odin.
Yep.
And was last fight as well, as it already has some stacks on it.
Yep. I think it's got 4 stacks on it, Bart. So yes. He did the things.
He does.
Speaking of doing the things, Shadowcube is getting just erased.
Yeah. Madman Mark, a big part of their damage as a Shadowcube there, and they lose their dual lane. And, well, that means Fire Giant's free as they lose Shing as well. This could just be the game. Screw the Fire Giant. Let's win.
Yeah, they definitely have the DPS to do it. I mean, Weekend's going to be there. You're seeing, look at Cyclone Spin still going in. They're trying to use Incon. Incon goes way deep. No follow-up from his teammates at all, but they're going to be able to get this Phoenix, but not before Incon loses a bunch of his health.
That's okay. There's only 2 members up right now from Denial. There's very little that they can do to stop any continued push here, or even a Fire Giant attempt, and it looks like that's the call.
Yep, so now eyes onto the real question is Complexity cute about it? Do they go back and buy, or do they just try to end right away?
No, they go right in here. And without just like the giant AoE lava, it's going to be pretty simple, honestly, for Incon to not get hit too much here and regen his health. And you see him doing exactly that. Fire Giant executable now, and it will get picked up by Complexity. So second Fire Giant of the game goes their way.
Yep. Kiki has still yet to be back. He's finally backing with 2,800 gold. Very interested. You see the Spear of Magus, which is an obvious pickup for him. Obviously, his card does a dot, and now here's the E-Staff. This is the build, ladies and gentlemen. He is now a tanky beast.
Yeah, a lot of raw HP, but there is already a chin size on Bakasura, but it does steroid Zhonghui all the way up to, let's see, where's his health at? 2,963 HP. So this is a large and in charge Kiki or Na Zhonghui.
Poseidon has been so tired of all the physical damage that has happened that he actually elected to go into a Dynasty plate helm so he can get the physical protection as well as a little bit of magical. That's tough.
Right side lane is the next target, it looks like, for Complexity. Denial going to look to hold this one out, but with the Fire Giant buff once again active, and once again active for another 3 minutes, this one looks like it could very well be Complexity's final charge. Denial, can they hold out the consolidated front of Complexity? The right side Phoenix, the only one remaining. Weekend looking for his opportunity. He's just going to tank the Phoenix up and be perfectly happy doing it.
Yeah, well, here comes the blink from Sylvanas. Sylvanas is there. Weekend's forced all the way out. Kiki's there. Kiki just trying to get the ghost down on everyone. And he is just getting focused by the Phoenix now, but they have no problem. They were able to tank it. It looks like they're going to go for the end, Bart.
Cyclone Spin getting a lot of attention here and drawing out some ultimates as well, but kiting away fairly well. Allied, the bomb pops on Shadow Q. His ultimate already down, not the greatest prize to get. There's a big one. Best falling to Incon, and
huge.
now this one looks like it's all over, but the singing as charging forward is Madman Mark. It's too little, too late. Titan is going to go down. Complexity take game number 1 in 24 minutes and 7 seconds. And honestly, Scott, pretty one-sided.
Yeah, very, 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 very one-sided. There was a time where Denial, we could have been like, oh my God, they might be able to do it, right? But we would have just been kind of just fabricating the truth there. Complexity looked very, very good throughout. The Odin in the jungle is very unique.
Yeah, not conventional, but it worked.
Yeah, it's not conventional. We saw it have a perfect secure on the Gold Fury, which was really the beginning
that's
of
where it all started.
Yeah. But overall, I like it. What's interesting to me, though, is Cyclone Spin, right? Like, when you look at Complexity, all these guys play so many different gods that you don't really know who's going into what lane.
Well, Cyclone Spin was really known for his Hunbots play. Like I was mentioning, like when Bakasur and Hunbots were both on the rise due to Heavy Hammer, Cyclone Spin was really one known for the Hunbots play. We saw some other people trying it, Xing as well. And ultimately, it kind of fell out of favor. But Cyclone Spin had such a good showing at the North American Regionals as part of Chunks that he was kind of taken up to the big leagues, if you will, for Complexity, and has really done, really shown what he can do. And honestly, it just comes down to Complexity drafting a very good early game team and executing it, and they win in 25 minutes. If they wouldn't have won in 25 minutes, it may have gotten a little hairy, but they're able to do it there, and they take game number 1 down pretty easily over the boys of Denial. We'll see if Complexity can wrap this one up in 2, or if Denial can force game number 3. Coming up next, guys, in about 5 minutes, it's game number 2 of the best of 3, Complexity versus Denial.